Okay, so we're supposedly living deep in this AI era, right? I mean, AI is everywhere in the headlines. But then you talk to people actually working with data day to day, and it often feels, well, pretty manual still. Lots of downloading Excel files, building reports by hand, sending emails. It feels like there's this real gap between the hype and the actual office reality.
Yeah, that disconnect.
Right.
It's something we hear constantly. People see the potential, but the tools haven't quite caught up with the workflow. And that gap, that's precisely what SCLAB Studio is built to tackle. It's not just another tool for looking at charts. It's designed as an all-in-one platform. It automates the whole chain, getting the data, analyzing it, visualizing it. And this is the really crucial part, executing actions based on it. We really lean into this AI agent idea, moving from just telling AI what to do to letting the AI actually take on the work, orchestrate.
Taking on the work. I like that framing. But okay, before AI can do anything useful, it needs data. And just connecting to all the different places, data lives, databases, files, APIs, whatever, that seems like a huge first step, a real blocker sometimes. How does SCLAB Studio handle that initial connection challenge?
Right, that's fundamental, and that's where our data agent comes in. Think of it as like your smart connector for data. It makes it really straightforward to hook into all sorts of sources. We're talking your standard relational databases, MySQL, PostgreSQL, but also APIs, plain old CSV files, even real-time data streams from, say, IoT sensors. But here's what's really different, especially for folks who aren't database gurus. You can use natural language. Just type what you need, like join my sales table with the customer table and the customer ID and show me sales over $1,000. And it actually writes the complex SQL query behind the scenes.
Whoa, okay, so you don't need to be a developer to pull data from multiple places.
Exactly. That's the aim. To really open up data access beyond the IT department or dedicated data analysts, let the business users get what they need more directly.
That definitely sounds like it tackles the getting data in problem. Huge. But okay, you get the data in and then novel disease.
Yeah.
It's often messy, right? Raw data can be chaotic. So how do you handle the next step? The cleaning, the prepping, making it actually usable, especially, again, for someone who doesn't code.
Yeah, the classic data janitor work. It's where, like, 80% of the time can go in traditional workflows. So for that, we have SCLAB Union. It lets you take all that data you just connected and process it right there in the interface. No coding needed. Zero. You can do things like filter out rows you don't need, delete duplicate entries, maybe merge data from two different spreadsheets, and there's AI assistance built in to make it more intuitive, suggesting ways to handle missing values, things like that. It basically creates this environment where a business user can directly shape the data into the format they need for their specific analysis, which massively speeds things up and makes data much more accessible. And of course, there are straightforward permission settings so you control who sees what. Data security is built right in.
Okay, so connecting is easier with the data agent, prepping is easier with Union. Now the data's ready. The exciting part, analysis. Getting the actual insights. What makes the SCLAB AI part stand out here?
Right, SDLab AI is where you really start talking to your data. You can ask questions in plain English. Just type it like you'd ask a colleague. For example, what was our lowest selling product last month? Or show me sales trends in the Western region. Yeah. The AI understands the question, runs the analysis on your prepared data, and boom, displays the result, often as a chart, right away. Under the hood, it uses powerful large language models, LLMs like GPT-4 and others. But critically, and this is super important for many businesses, it fully supports on-premise LLMs too.
On-premise, so running the AI inside their own network.
Exactly. If you've got strict data security rules or you operate in a completely closed network, you can still use the AI capabilities safely. Your sensitive data never has to leave your control. We built it so you can plug in your preferred LLM, whether it's public, private, or an open source one you host yourself. It adapts.
That on-premise capability sounds huge for certain sectors. Okay, so natural language analysis is powerful. But you keep mentioning AI taking action and taking on the work. That goes beyond just showing me a chart. Can you give me a really concrete example? What does that actually look like in practice?
Yeah, this is where it gets really interesting, moving beyond just BI. It's about automated execution. Imagine a factory floor scenario. SCLAB Studio is monitoring sensor data from a production line in real time. Let's say you've set a rule. If the defect rate jumps above 2% for more than 5 minutes, the SCLAB AI agent doesn't just flag it. It can automatically trigger a sequence. Like it sends an instant alert, maybe an SMS or a Teams message to the shift supervisor. Simultaneously, it generates a quick report showing the defect trend data, and then it emails that report to the quality control manager, all automatically based on the data hitting that predefined condition.
Ah, okay. So it's connecting insight directly to action, taking the human out of that specific loop.
Precisely. It's data-driven autonomous task processing. It frees up your people from constantly monitoring dashboards or reacting to alarms. They can focus on the bigger picture, solving the root cause, not just reacting to the symptom.
That makes a lot of sense. Real automation. So you've got the connection, the prep, the analysis, the automated actions. What about sharing all this, making dashboards, presenting the findings? A lot of BI tools feel like you need to be an expert designer.
We wanted to make that super easy too. Anyone should be able to build a good-looking, informative dashboard. So within SCLAB Studio, it's all drag and drop. No code. You pull in charts, maps, text boxes, maybe buttons to trigger actions, arrange them how you like. And these dashboards are live. If the underlying data updates, the charts update. If you apply a filter, everything reacts instantly. You can switch design themes easily too. And importantly, they're automatically mobile-friendly. Looks good on your phone or tablet, no extra work needed. It really lowers the barrier for people across the organization to not just see data, but to explore it and share insights.
It sounds incredibly versatile. Can you share some specific industries or examples where you're seeing SCLAB Studio make a difference?
Oh, absolutely. It's being used across a really wide range. In manufacturing, like the example I gave, real-time quality monitoring is huge, catching anomalies instantly. For logistics companies, maybe tracking delivery trucks. If a truck deviates significantly from its route or faces a long delay, the system can flag it for faster response, improving efficiency. In finance, we see it used for things like automating parts of customer risk scoring, pulling data from different systems, calculating a score, maybe flagging high-risk accounts. Even in the public sector, visualizing things like citizen complaints on a map, maybe by category, to help allocate resources better, making things more transparent. We even have examples in smart farming, monitoring environmental conditions, temperature, humidity, soil moisture to help optimize irrigation or fertilization.
Wow, that's quite a spread. From factories to farms.
Yeah, and the platform itself, it started in Korea, but it's grown globally. It began as a SaaS model, cloud subscription. But now we also offer it as an on-premise installation. That's really important for organizations with tighter security needs or specific infrastructure requirements. We're seeing uptake across Southeast Asia, Europe, the Middle East, and it supports, I think, 12 languages now. Plus, it's built to comply with various cloud regulations and work in those secure, closed network setups. So it's pretty adaptable for global companies.
So it sounds adaptable both in terms of application and deployment.
That's right. So to kind of wrap it up, SDLB Studio aims to be that genuine, all-in-one data platform. It smoothly integrates the whole journey: data collection, the prep work, the AI analysis, the visualization, and critically, that automated action through the AI agents, creating a more autonomous, data-driven way of operating.
It's a really compelling picture you've painted. It makes you think. So, for everyone listening, if you had AI agents that could genuinely handle all those routine, repetitive data tasks you do, checking things, generating basic reports, sending standard alerts, what would your work actually look like then? How much could that change what you actually focus your energy on each day? Moving away from just managing data to, I don't know, more strategic thinking.
That's the key question, isn't it? Shifting human potential. And look, if you are curious and want to see more of this in action, or maybe see examples specific to your industry, the best place to go is probably the SC Live YouTube channel. There are quite a few demo videos on there, lots of application examples that show how different companies are using it. It gives you a much better visual feel for it all.